Today at PT Precision Automotive, we've got a customer that's come in. He's got a Toyota Hiace 2010 model. It's a 1KD-FTV engine, turbo diesel, KDH201R. He's had it to a few other mechanics. He's got engine light flashing on the dash. Other mechanics have changed the EGR valve and said that they don't know anything more than that. It's got 3 codes in it, which I've scanned it. They're hard codes, they won't clear. It's P2564, P2588 and P2BAB. Basically, it's relating to the turbo, pressures and possibly voltages to it. So I'm going to go to that. So what I've first done is that I've scanned it, tried to clear and reset all the codes. It won't do it. They're permanent codes, they will not clear at all. But what I have noticed is when you turn the car on, or turn the ignition to on, I've had a rattling sound coming from around the turbo, and I've disconnected the wiring harness to the turbo itself, and it stopped it. It's not doing it now, but no, it's not doing it now. But so all we're going to do is going to have a look at a few things. We have to look at some voltages going to the turbo actuator. We're going to have a look at the EGR and the manifold. Apparently this is blocked, and they want to get that cleared as well. It's got a PDF on it also. So we're going to try and eliminate the problem with this car. It's been a problem for 6 months, and obviously it's not going to get any better by itself. So we'll pull it apart, do some tests, and we'll let you know how we go throughout it. All right. That's the sound we're getting from the turbo. Shouldn't make any noise generally. This is just the ignition on. So we got the go-ahead to chase these problems down on this Toyota Hiace, the 1KD-FTV engine. 3 hard codes: P2564, P2588, P2BAB. So the first 2 top ones relate to the turbo, and the turbo's got an electronic wastegate on it and a positioning sensor on the side of the turbo. You can buy this separately from various places, but they're a Taiwanese kind of part. But I was under the assumption that something was wrong inside the turbo as well, and this, we've pulled the turbo to pieces. This is inside the turbo. This is the wastegate that electronic controller goes onto, but it's nice and free there, but it would bind up in the top and the bottom positions. It seems to be a little bit free there now, and then it controls these vanes that open and close, and they are binding up as well. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I don't think it's worth the risk, realistically, replacing that. The job to do it, it's a bit painful, but it can be done. So I think it's a waste of money. It's up to yourself, but we've got the go-ahead to actually put a brand new turbo on it. So the turbo comes complete with the new electronic wastegate. What's happening with this is 2 problems. Is one, that the turbo is not releasing the exhaust gases, so therefore under normal driving it's getting up to 15 psi or more in the inlet manifold, then causing these other codes to come on about the inlet manifold has got too much pressure in it because there's pressure sensors, a map sensor in there. So we took off the cooler before the EGR valve. Now that cooler was completely blocked. There's been to 3 other mechanics. Someone has replaced the EGR valve. Whether that was faulty or not, I don't know, but this thing, it's stiff to blow through now, and we've spent 2 days trying to clean it. So we're going to put a brand new one of these on it as well. It goes on the inside, down in the manifold down there. So what we're going to do, going bolt all the new stuff on, and then see if we can clear these codes. These codes will not clear. They are hard codes. I would presume we've released the battery, so there's no power left in the battery for the last couple of days to power down the whole system. We'll renew all this stuff and then reprogram it all, and hopefully it all goes well. So, you know, the lights are flashing on the dash and whatnot, have been for months. So that's what we're going to do. It's a big job and it costs a lot of money. All right. Okay, so this is the Toyota Hiace. We have now completed and finished installing a brand new turbo, a brand new EGR exhaust heat exchanger, and put everything back on, reset the computer. The computer did clear, and no more codes have come up. We've driven it home last night and then driven it again today just for another 40 minutes. Everything's driving beautiful. The turbo is boosting up nice and smoothly, and the EGR seems to be operating correctly again. So that's fixed. It's a very expensive fix, that. Now what we're going to do is like preventative maintenance on this because of the blockages and everything that it had in it. This has a particulate filter in the exhaust system, so we're going to, what we call is a decarbon. Now we're going to go through the fuel injectors first, and then we're going to go through the inlet manifold to clean the entire system out, and that will clean the particulate filter out. It continues to burn through that particulate filter. Everything else is pretty much will clean. The inlet manifold, though, it is quite dirty. It's not that bad, but with this decarboning is what we call it, it will clean a majority of that off, and you'll see a lot of smoke and stuff coming out of that. So we're going to start performing that, and we'll run through that on the video as well. Okay, all good. The injection cleaning machine on just for the fuel injectors and the fuel the diesel pump. I'm adding an engine flush to this engine, so that'll be in there the whole time we're doing these injectors and the pump, and it'll be in there whilst we do the decarboning of the inlet manifold. I've already added one of these injector cleaning additives in. I've got another one to go. I tell you the name of the brand of this stuff, you can't buy it anyway, but the bloody blokes are wankers. They won't give me any products with advertising their stuff. So anyway, that's for Dave. So I got another one of his. These products do work. They work very, very well. The best I've seen. So we're going to start that up and see it's all nice and yellow in here. What'll happen, there'll be a lot of crap that comes out of these in pump because it goes recirculates around, it comes back in, so we use every drop of this. So we start it up, run it. So it runs. It's just dripping back in as it should. So we'll just let that run. We might give it an occasional rev up and down. Don't like to, just idling away is quite alright. It'll clean it, it'll do its job. It's going down through the injectors, cylinder ball, through the exhaust and out the back. So we'll let that run. That'll run for, I don't know, 40 minutes or so, a bit longer. We'll let that go. Yep. Okay, you can see we're nearly through on this injection. You can see how black that fluid goes. It was really golden before. That's removing all the deposits. They are going back in, but they'll be that small, they'll be going through those injectors, so we're cleaning that out. So that's nearly finished, and we're going to do the inlet manifold. Alright, now connected this system to the throttle body. I don't know if you can get in there, Mike, and show. We've got like a vortex thing in there. So this makes the fluid that we're going to put in swirl around into the inlet manifold and through the throttle body. The throttle body's nice and clean and everything anyway. Go through the inlet manifold, through the EGR system, through down to the cylinder bores, soften everything out, and then out through the exhaust, and we'll burn through the particulate filter as well and clean that. We run about 6 bar in this machine. Going to run this on 12 seconds intervals, so the engine will run and it'll spray in a couple of seconds, and then it'll switch off for 12 seconds. So it does that the 1 can of this fluid that we do use will take 45 minutes. Okay, start it up. You'll hear the difference. Noticeable air difference. That's that vortex getting sucked in through that tool. We've got the fluid on. That's on. Fluid in the machine. That might take a minute or so before it starts injecting, and then we might bump the idle up depending on how the engine takes it. Just go have a listen to it, make sure it's not knocking bad or running funny or running away, and then we'll just monitor it the whole time. You've got to be around the car the whole time while this is going on. So, alright, we'll let it run and we'll come back to you. It's been running for about 20 minutes now. It's accepting it okay. It's running a bit rough here and there, getting a bit of a knock every now and then. We switch it on or off. But as you'll see out the back, you know, it's constant clouds of smoke coming out the back. Knocking off there. It's on, now it's off. Have a look at the smoke. So she's just burning a lot of junk out of there. A lot of junk. So we've done the decarboning in through the inlet manifold. We've seen a lot of the stuff that's come out. There's fluid coming out of the exhaust as well, black tarry fluid. I've put everything back together here now. I'm going to take it for a run, blow all the crap out of it, and then bring it back in and change the engine oil and filter, and that's job done.